I can't remember.
What is that one?
That's Frank Zappa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You showed me that song.
It's still weird timing. I was probably watermelons and Easter hay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
It's a really pretty song.
Was that the name of it?
Yeah.
That's right. I remember. Yeah. What was a cool song?
It's a weird timing. I probably wasn't getting it right. So don't kill me on it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great measures, man.
Great Measures.
Great measures.
Yeah, Great Measures. Gonna get back to Rush today. Excuse me. Back to Rush. I think when we did
Rush.
the last song that we did was YYZ.
YYZ.
Yeah, Zed. I Americanized it.
YYZ.
And I think we mentioned you don't know Tom Sawyer, right? The song Tom Sawyer? I think you've probably heard it.
Probably, but right now I couldn't.
Okay. We're going to try it. We're going to do it anyways because it's probably one of those songs that you've never really taken the time to listen to.
Probably not.
It's probably their most iconic song. Really cool drum part in the middle of the song by the legend Neil Peart. So,
is it about the book?
That's a good question. I mean,
We'll see, huh?
not really. I don't
We'll
know.
talk about it
We
later.
can talk about that, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've never really thought about that. Lyrically, I don't think it...
We'll see.
I don't think so. It's just my opinion before we play it.
Save your opinions for the opinion section,
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, if you are.
All right. All right, this is from 1981's Moving Pictures album. This is the original video we're going to let you watch.
Well, proceed, Richard.
Let's do it.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Though his mind is not for rent, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, writing out the day's events. The river. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as his skies are wide. Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
got a digging groove on it. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard, especially that. It sounds like you remember those old like PBS science things, and it'll have like what looks like an atom or something, and it's kind of going like this.
Yeah,
and it comes in.
Yeah. It does have that sound for sure. You might have heard, if you've seen the movie, it was from probably the mid 2000s, maybe late 2000s. I Love You, Man, Paul Rudd, and
Maybe they all saw a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
That Ruddian era sort of runs together.
That movie, they basically become friends over their love of Rush and Tom Sawyer. I mean, it's a big part of their friendship.
People do that in the real world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lyrically, it's essentially about we looked it up to make sure it's about a modern day kind of a rebel, free thinker.
Based on another poet, or a poem, but
his mind is not for rent to any god or government.
I like the line, changes
He knows changes aren't permanent,
aren't
but
permanent, but changes.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah, I mean, the instrumentation is really cool. I like a Rickenbacker bass.
Yeah.
I used to play in a band with a guy, Sammy, who had a Rickenbacker, and you can really get some good noises out of a Rickenbacker, especially with whatever you're doing. I noticed the organ player, organ player. I mean, he had.
That's Geddy Lee too.
That was him.
He's the bass player, and he does the.
Oh, he had his head down.
Yeah.
He's playing the bass notes on there too.
With his feet.
Yeah. On the organ, which is pretty cool. Just because I like the bass.
Yeah.
But it's just all they just jam. They're just hitting it the whole time.
Yeah, and I was torn.
And I saw that it came out of a jam session, which it sounds like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were just going at something, and it's really. It's one thing I do like about Rush is when they make those little. So they go into the guitar solo, and after a few to four, maybe 8 measures of the guitar solo, they have a moment where they all hit together. They all, and they do. I really like that when musicians, because that takes work to make those decisions and then remember to stick to them, especially when you're in an improvisational section of the song. But I also dig just 3 instruments, unless you're making a lot of noise. Listening to the Jimi Hendrix Experience or something like that, Jimmy's making so much noise.
Yeah.
And his drummer Mitchell he doesn't do a lot of space. Mitch didn't, and so there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So that 3-piece, the sound can be deceiving sometimes.
Sure.
Because when you have if you don't have an organ player, and it didn't sound like there was a whole lot of organ or synth or whatever going on in the solo. It was strategically placed around the song. That when they decide to play separate, if they're not hitting things together, they're playing together, but they decide to go in different directions. You can the space becomes noticeable. So sometimes it's hard, like you two, for instance. The Edge or Edge?
I think it's The Edge.
The Edge has a lot of delay stuff that he does to make these notes ring out, and I mean that's their sound. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying when you decide to just start playing individual notes and you're not trying to make a wash of sound to cover up the fact that you're just 3 guys. You got to bring some heat, and they all do. So it doesn't sound like the drummer and the bass player are backing up the guitar player solo.
Yeah.
It's just he's just going off, and they're going off.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously the bass and the drums are linked.
Yeah.
But it's just always impressive that Rush. That's just what they do, or what they did. They were able to go in different directions and it not take away from anything else.
Yeah. I think in the movie they refer to him as the Holy Triumvirate.
But I really like
the Holy Trinity.
And that's a long time ago, huh? You said
81.
81.
Mm-hmm. I was torn, and we're probably going to have people in the comments saying you should have done a live version, because there are some great live versions. Like there's a live version from 2008 DVD that they released from Snakes and Arrows Live, that it was filmed in the Netherlands, and I mean it's an incredible live version. But my heart kept telling me, let's just start with the original. Down the road we can do another live version or something like that. But I was really torn. I've kind of been delaying this one because I wasn't fully confident in which version I was going to show you. But I mean, I think, that's probably the best place to start. It's just my opinion, just because it is the original. It's the studio recording.
So live, does he go over to...
Yeah.
So that's why he's using the bass thing.
Yes.
He's just picking up his bass duties.
Mm-hmm. And he does that live. Like he does the bass pedals live, and he plays.
Yeah, well, he'd have to because he's not playing. Okay, so that makes more sense.
That's why I was going to show you the live version. That was pretty much the main reason, was because of that split between him stepping away, basically putting the bass down, not literally laying it down, but stepping to the synth and
stepping to the synth. Stepping to the synth.
Right.
Yeah.
With a synthesizer.
I also dig I just like space so much when people use space, as I've said over and over and over, and I'll continue to say. Mm-hmm. But with vocally, everything is a hook in this song. I can see why it's popular, and I have heard it. If you would have just played the song for me and not told me who it was, it would have taken me a minute to tell you it was Rush. Okay. Because I've heard it on radio or something.
Yeah.
But everything's a hook. That and then don, dun, dun, dun. It kind of sounds like Jungle Boogie for a second. That it
does. I can hear that. No, I'll probably never unhear that.
Yeah, well, I just was trying to sing theirs, and I accidentally did Jungle Boogie. But everything's a hook. Even the way that he sings, the do do do, and even what Neil's doing on the drums, he's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just his accents, just things he decides to do. It becomes part of, instead of just, I mean, obviously he's a great drummer, but even the normalcy of what he does something crazy in the normalcy, and then he'll do it again. I don't know. They do all these little nuances that are not unique just for a particular part. Like they're not just one-timers. It sounds like it is a one-timer, is what I'm saying. So as he's doing something, when you listen to the beginning of the song, he does a little break or something. You think, oh, that's a cool break. But then he does it again. He does it. So they write that way. They write with these, and it's not easy to remember some of those things.
No, for sure. And I think, there was an interview with him later on in later years, more recent, before his passing, probably within the last 10 or 15 years or so. And I don't remember the context of the conversation or what exactly he was referencing, but he made the comment that, to this day, Tom Sawyer is still hard to play on the drums.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost, and I think that's cool about think that would be necessary for so to be creative, or to try to be in a creative space and do something creative, in my opinion. You know, we could sit here and write a 4/4 song and a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a bridge, and a chorus, and be out. And that's cool. And it might be a good song for 4 chords or something. But you could take that and you could say, well, you know, it sounds like you switch your chord after this many measures, and obviously, and then you would switch your chord and obviously switch here or whatever. And then, but if you hang on to that chord, an extra measure, one of them in the middle, and then you let one go earlier than you should down here, or where you would start singing, you know, you start singing when the song, if you don't, and you wait a whole measure, little things like that, you know, and what feels right a lot of times is a kind of a rut to what you've heard before. So you're programmed with all this stuff that you've heard, and it feels right to do that kind of thing. And so I think to get out of that space and to go, what if I go here every time? It may go, you know, people may say, that's, or if you're writing it at the time, go, oh, really? Why not just kind of go on? No, if I just go here in the middle of in the middle of nothing, it becomes unique, and the definition or the character of the song takes on a more creative shape. And I think that effort is the thing that is missing a lot of times in mass-produced music.
Sure.
Or music that I look for that.
Yeah.
That
I
kind
also
of stuff.
think it's, and this is just how I view it, like I think it's from a longevity standpoint, when you write something that's not, as you say, you know, 4/4 basic copycat cookie cutter that you've heard 1,000 times, especially in Rush's situation, such an iconic band that's been touring since the 70s, you know. You're going to be, this Tom Sawyer song is this massive hit. You're going to play it at every concert for the rest of your life. You don't want to get bored with it.
Sure.
You know, it's something that'll keep you on your toes for the next 40 years.
That's a good point. That's a good, I mean, I think, and that should exist in the creative process, you know, making this, because you can also, I know playing bluegrass music, which is G, C, and D. I mean, it's not all G, C, and D, but there's a lot. If you play bluegrass and I play bluegrass and we never played before, we're gonna play a song in G first. Okay. Just to say, you know this one, or you know, or whatever. And I have found myself playing bluegrass shows before, and in the middle of the song, accidentally be playing another, like, in another song, because they're so close together in how they work that you can get confused. Sure. And I don't think Rush is the type of band that you listen to a song and say, which one is this again? Right. Yeah. You know what every single song is. And yeah, I think it's necessary that you, if you're gonna be creative in that sense, that you make things that you have to be in the present moment all the time to remember, or you'll miss what the you'll miss it. Yeah. And then when you, I mean, it might become, I mean, these guys, you know, they've played for a long time. It might become somewhat, not tedious, but it might be, the muscle memory might kind of, but I guarantee you it's not. Right. It's something like that. You'll miss that jump that they do, or that little tiny section where they go when they're in the guitar solo. I mean, because just innately you think, all right, it's the guitar solo now. I'm going to sit back and do this. Oh wait, I got to hit the you know. So you're always, if you can create something that whenever you repeat it, it puts you in now. Yeah. I mean, that's a beautiful philosophy of living as well, right? Sure. I mean, you can step out of the shower in a creative way and make it somehow new to you. I mean, but you know, Rush is good for that. Okay. Right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, they definitely keep you on your toes. Yeah. They do. They did. They keep you at rush keeps you because you'd have to rush. They have to rush to keep up with them. You have to.
That's the end of this one. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was Tom Sawyer.
Sure was.
By Rush from 1981's Moving Pictures. We are Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures.
Hope everybody has a wonderful day.